Um, this video is going to be a little hard to make for specific reasons, and I know I haven't made anything in a while, but this is something I feel like it deserves to be out there to kind of clear the air um, to some situations that's been going on at my, well, now former job. Some of you guys know I work for a hospital, it's King's Daughters Medical Center, based out of Ashland, Kentucky. I started there. I was working as valet, as a PRN, which PRN is as needed. I was still on my 90 days. Since I've been there, before this 90 days is up, I was able to get a job internally within the Patient Access Center, which is almost almost $3 to $4 more than what I'm making now, which includes full time benefits and stuff like that. Now in valet, I was only making 9 something an hour, and I'd work really hard. I would push myself. If they asked me to come in, I would come in. I would take any shift that was available. And I was originally scheduled to work Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. This was supposed to have been the thing. I was only going to get 18 hours a week. Sometimes I got lucky. Somebody would call off. I would take that shift. Or in this case, we had a few people that quit, and I've been working Monday through Friday, usually 9 to 5. Prior to that, I let my manager know that I do have doctor's appointments. So what I did to avoid missing any days, I scheduled them Monday and Friday. That way I wouldn't miss anything. Now, this is before I had to start taking other shifts. One day, it was a Monday on March the 18th, and I don't remember if I was working that day or if I was off that day, and I had to go in to the emergency room due to a heart issue that I've been having. I have coronary heart disease. I have a valve that does not open and shut properly. The bottom portion of my heart, I guess whenever they ran a test, it didn't light up. And my doctor said that there are some vessels that does have blockages, but cannot be fixed with stents just to do. She mentioned it was the technology, or they were so small that a stent cannot be put in them. I get chest pains all the time. I also have a hiatal hernia. I have severe bipolar depression, high blood pressure, everything you can think of. I'm completely unhealthy, and it's my fault for that. Well, some of it, anyways. I do have diabetes as well, which is another notch on the fat neck beard thing that I've got going, which is the only thing I got going on right now. But anyways, I would go into work, chest pains every day, and it was last Friday, I believe. I went to a doctor's appointment. This was prior to what happened on Thursday. On Thursday, I was at work, and I had some chest pain. So during my break, I called my doctor and let her know what's going on. And they actually sent somebody down to the valet lot and asked me to go to the emergency room. I said, well, I can't. I'm on my 90 days. If I miss, I'm terminated. So they said, okay, let's go ahead and get you scheduled for tomorrow morning, which would have been Friday. So I was like, okay. It was 8 in the morning, right before work started, and I went in, and they wanted to go ahead and schedule the heart cath. I did all my testing and everything, and they said, let's go ahead and do this on Wednesday, which was earlier this week. So I took the papers and handed them to our front desk, and my manager at the time wasn't there. And so on Monday, when he got the papers, he came up to me, he handed me the papers back, and said, I can't accept these. And I was like, well, I have a heart cath I need to get done on Wednesday. And I called HR. I spoke to a woman. I'm not going to give any names. And she was over the benefits and everything. And she said if my manager was to write me off for those 2 days, 1 day or 2 days or however many I need, it wouldn't count for a absence because I'd be written off. I let my manager know about this, and he refused to do so, saying that, we are short-handed. I can't tell you what to do about your health. And they did mention if I do miss a day, I am terminated. So whatever it is. And he said the same thing multiple times. I was like, so what, can you help me, or can you at least call HR to see what's going on? And he refused to do so. Now, he was already mad at me whenever I came back from a previous situation, and I was to transfer to my new job on June the 15th. So let's go ahead and rewind a little bit. We'll go back 2 weeks. 2 weeks ago in the Circle, Circle was our valet pit. It might have been a little bit over 2 weeks, maybe 3 at this point. I was managing the Circle, and I was trying to get a car moved out of the way. Our lot's not accommodated to build to use valet. It's just not. There's a big fountain in the middle, and it's tight. And I ended up scratching a customer's car. It was on accident. I had another car I was trying to back out, and I was trying to move to relieve stress on the Circle. And I did scratch the car. And we parked it, and the lady came out, and she was fine with it. She said it happens. But one of the KDMC things is if you make a mistake, you do a drug test. So my manager takes me to occupational med. I do the drug test. The drug test is only supposed to take 2 days, maybe 1. They have to send it out and it comes back. Well, anyways, in that time, they send you home until that comes back. Now, so what happened here was instead of taking 2 days, this almost took 2 weeks. I would go over to King's Daughters, I would go into HR, I would call occupational med, I would message my boss, and they say nothing has came back yet for 2 weeks. Now, I already have high anxiety, and I need this job. I do. I just need this job. And anyways, my boss called me one day, and he's called me twice during this 2 weeks and told me to stop calling HR and stop trying to get a hold of him. Stop calling occupational med because they can't do anything about it until it comes back in. So 3 Fridays ago, I believe, he calls me and he says, hey, you can come back Monday. We're going to pay you for the time you was off. I was like, okay, that's cool. They never told me why it took so long for that. And in the meanwhile, I had to go. I went to see the on-site employee psychiatrist because I'm having a rough time. Last few years has been just a nightmare, and you guys all know about this. Me and my fiance of 7 years split up. I lost everything. I moved back home. I had kidney failure. One of my best friends in the whole world committed suicide, and it's not been good. Like I said, I have really bad anxiety, and during these times, I did feel like I should just end it. So, anyways, I came back, and whenever I got there, the manager said, so you come back and you're already getting a new job. He's like, I don't think you're trustworthy. Well, I applied for this job before I started valet. It was an internal position of higher pay, more hours, and he made a point to gripe at me about it because it puts him short again. And they haven't been hiring people, and we're 5 people short, maybe 4. So every week they're running us basically a 6 to 12 person team, which only 6 of us or less takes the cars. We park around 200 some cars a day. But he made a point to kind of take jabs at me in regards to this. So we'll go ahead and fast forward to this date. I asked my manager about if he can write me off like the HR person does. He said, I don't know what she's talking about. I can't write you off. But I also can't tell you what to do about your health. I said, what you're telling me is I'm fired if I go get this done, and you're not going to write me off. I said, you are telling me what I'm supposed to be doing, and that's to cancel the cath. And he kept on repeating this same thing. He said, I can't tell you what to do about your health, and I can't guarantee your job. It was like, okay. So I called and canceled my cath. And this was supposed to be an emergency thing because they wanted to get it done. And I canceled it. And on Monday, I tried to figure out if we can get a later time, maybe on the weekend or late. And they said, we don't have anything available at that time. So what we can try to do is schedule it for after your 90 days. If it gets worse, then we have to obviously do something. So I canceled it. Well, on Wednesday, I get into work, and it was now the last few days I've had terrible. I couldn't breathe, I couldn't sleep, my chest was constantly hurting, and I got into work. I didn't get the clock in yet, and I was walking in the door to get ready to clock in. I couldn't breathe, and I had to stand there to try to catch my breath. And one of my coworkers had me come in and sit down for a moment, and had me go to see my doctor. And I did that. I went upstairs, sat down with my doctor's office, and they wanted me to go immediately to the ER. So they got a wheelchair and took me to the ER. And while doing that, I messaged my boss to say, hey, I got to work, and now I'm in the ER. He just sends me a message, says, okay, ... It's all right. So from the ER, within a couple hours, they had to do an emergency heart cath. So they did that. And while I was in the cath lab, I see my doctor. She grabbed her phone, and she called HR and left a voicemail telling them what was going on. And as far as I know, they never got a call back. So not only did I have to get the emergency heart cath, my doctor also called to let them know what's going on to see if they can work with me. Well, they also had to admit me. So I got admitted, and I was there until the day after. It was Thursday afternoon, and they sent me home. And I messaged my boss, and he messaged me and asked me about a specific date, which was on March the 18th. And I said, hey, are you saying that I'm getting fired for this? He kept on asking me the same question every time I would respond. And I said, I really need to know, because I already had, like I said, I was freaking out. My anxiety was on super high. And I didn't think they were going to fire me for having to have an emergency heart cath. So later that day, I get a phone call from my boss. He says, when you coming back? Well, my doctor wrote me off until the 29th due to the surgery, because if I was to do something wrong where I got it in my groin, there's a possibility that it would open up and I'd bleed out and die. And that's one of the things that is said. So my boss says, well, we just want to let you know that due to you having to miss, you are terminated. Within your 90 days, you are terminated, but you will be eligible for rehire. We all know if I was to reapply, I would not be getting the job because they're going to consider me as a liability. And anyways, I hung up with him and said, that's fine. I'm not sure how a company that, especially a hospital, that has pride on their heart programs can do that to their own employee. And I know I'm in my 90 days, but I tried like hell to get this fixed. And I asked my boss what to do and told him what HR said. And all he had to do was write me off so I wouldn't lose the job. So I'm not really sure what else to do at this point. So I lost a job, and I don't get the other job either. So I lost employment with King's Daughters, and I was supposed to start a new job on the 15th. I tried calling the CEO. I tried calling HR. I tried calling the manager at my newer position. No answers. No answers whatsoever. Not even as much as a reply. So I don't know what to do now. I'm out of a job. I kind of wish I died. I kind of wish I was dead. It's not right to do this. I've been trying so hard to get my life back on track. I've been trying so hard. And it's fucking bullshit. A lot of people know I have this dark cloud that's always on me. Oh boy, bad things come to me. And I shouldn't bitch about it. I shouldn't. I really shouldn't. Because it makes me sound like a whiner. If you take a look back in my videos, and you'll probably see me doing the same thing over and over. Oh, some bad shit happens. This happens a lot to me. All this shit happens a lot to me. I don't know why. All I can think of is maybe I was literally Hitler in my past life. And a lot of people tells me that things will get better. And it never really does get better. I get those spots of sunshine, and it's nice. And the rest of the time, we go back to that dark cloud. I just don't understand. And I told my boss I have really bad anxiety. I said I have severe bipolar depression. I've had multiple suicide attempts. And I have. And I even talked to the on-site psychiatrist for employees. They know that as well. And I let them know when they hired me I have these problems. I have heart problems. That's why I scheduled my appointments on Monday and Friday, because I was only scheduled Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And they needed more help, so they had me come in Monday and Friday as well. I tried to get things done so I can save my job. I need this job. I fucking need this job. And now I don't have a job. Again. I don't want disability. I just wanted a chance, and I thought I was getting there. And I was so excited to start my new job on the 15th. But that's not happening anymore. They said I'll be eligible for rehire, and said all I have to do is reapply. They're not going to hire me again. It's not going to happen. You know, to save face, they may try to, because they'll be under public scrutiny, because there's a lot of people that's pretty pissed off about it. There are. It's ridiculous. But I don't want to ramble anymore. I just want to tell you guys what's going on. Thank you so much for the support. My friends, my family, I love you guys more than anything. I promise you I won't hurt myself. I'm going to stick around. I've got to fight. I got family and friends that I love more than anything. It's going to be hard again. You'll probably see me upset more often, I guess. I'll try not to be. But I don't know. Some people told me to talk to a lawyer. Well, Kentucky is a at-will state. I don't know how good that's going to do, but I talked to one. I left a message with the secretary, and it's supposed to call me back. I think it's discrimination because my manager didn't want to help me because I was moving to another department. And I let him know what to do from HR. HR told him to do this. He wouldn't follow up on it. And on Thursday, he kept on messaging me, tormenting me while I was in the hospital. And when I got out within the last couple of hours of that day, I got fired. Said I was terminated. And this all could have been stopped if he would have at least done that. But he was mad at the fact that I was going to another position. I'm pretty damn sure that I was being picked on the whole damn time I was there. Because he knew it. He was being a dick to me the whole time. They wouldn't work with me. They knew I had problems. I've had them for years. I told them I would let them have access to my chart, which my chart is an access system for patients and employees. But I can take a look at past test results within and as well everything else. I'm on a bunch of medicines and shit. So I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. If I can get legal help, or if we can spread this out to kind of show how Kingsider's Medical Center is, that would be amazing. I thank you for watching this long-winded bitch fest, and I appreciate you all. Thank you so much for watching this, and let's keep our fingers crossed. Maybe something good will happen out of this. I don't know. Thank you.